Welcome to all future Boilermakers who are watching tonight. This is the live Q&A broadcast for 4 of the majors in the School of Engineering Technology at Purdue University. To all the students in our audience who have been admitted to Purdue, congratulations! We are delighted that you and your family are joining us this evening. My name is Syrah Nassiri. I am a junior in engineering technology, and I'm from Bartlett, Illinois, which is a suburb near Chicago. Our panelists tonight will include professors, an academic advisor, and current students, and we will meet everyone in just a minute. By the way, the 4 specific majors that we will be discussing tonight are electrical engineering technology, computer engineering technology, industrial engineering technology, and finally, supply chain and sales engineering technology. There is another broadcast coming up on March 4th, 2025 for more of the majors in the School of Engineering Technology. Plus, there is a ton of great information in last year's broadcast. You can submit questions via the YouTube chat window by signing into your Google account and typing them in. Diane Rossell, as well as our technical director, John O'Malley, will be monitoring the chat to answer questions and to pass along any questions to me. If we don't get to your question tonight, please feel free to send up a follow-up email to techrecruit@purdue.edu, and we will respond later on. Before we get into our discussion, I would like to ask the professors here tonight to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what you teach. So good evening, Professor Burbank. Let's start with you.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for showing up tonight. So I'm Ken Burbank. I'm actually the administrative head for the School of Engineering Technology. So again, welcome everybody.
Perfect. Hello, Professor Cheung.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm April Cheung. I am an associate professor of practice for electrical engineering technology, and I also teach courses in computer engineering technology. I'm also the associate head for academic affairs, and I teach also 2 other classes. One is data acquisition and systems, and another one is AC and power electronics.
Perfect. Professor Nanda, I'm passing it to you.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Gaurav Nanda. I'm an assistant professor in industrial engineering technology, and I teach courses on human factors, ergonomics, and then operations planning and management. And also I teach some of the smart manufacturing courses, smart manufacturing information systems, and intelligent manufacturing. And my research is on AI applications in the area of safety and manufacturing. Glad to be here.
Alrighty, and Professor Panigrahi, take it away.
All right, good evening, everybody. I am Suranjan Panigrahi. I'm a professor in electrical and computer engineering technology. I teach undergraduate courses. One is advanced embedded systems. Another is applied computer vision for inspection and quality control. I also teach work with other group of our faculty members for mentoring students for senior capstone courses. Thank you.
Thank you. An academic advisor from engineering technology is also here tonight. Good evening, Lindsay. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your role?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Lindsay Haugland. I'm a senior academic advisor in the School of Engineering Technology. I have been advising students in these majors since 2011, so I've been here quite a while. I love our students and love watching them progress through our program.
Thank you. And for our student panelists, would you please introduce yourself, tell us your year, where you're from, and what your major is? Joseph, let's start with you.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Joseph DeWane. I'm a junior studying industrial engineering technology, and I'm from Boston.
Awesome. And last but not least, hi Marianna.
Hi, good evening. I'm Marianna Broton. I'm from Valparaiso, Indiana. I'm a junior studying electrical engineering technology and energy engineering technology.
Thank you, Marianna. Okay, let's get started with a question that we hear quite often. We talk about this every year because it's super important to cover this topic for everyone who is new to Purdue. Professor Burbank, the big question is this: what is the difference between engineering technology and engineering?
It is always the big question, isn't it? Something that we've had to answer every year since time began. I think one of the most important ways to think about this is that engineering is a profession. So whenever you as students leave the university, and when I left the university myself, I went into the profession of engineering. But there's a lot of degree programs that can get you into that profession. Not just engineering technology, not just engineering. But when I worked in industry, I worked with a lot of engineers that were actually from physics and chemistry. It takes a lot of different types of people to make the world go round. So what makes us unique here in the School of Engineering Technology is not just that our graduates primarily become engineers, but it's the way they are prepared for success in industry. Engineering technology emphasizes the industrial application of engineering and science principles, preparing students for careers in product design, manufacturing, systems integration, enterprise operations. You heard that just in the majors that the students talked about earlier. A defining feature for ET programs is applied learning. It's always in application, which emphasizes the use of industry class systems and their implementation, both of which align well with our current national workforce needs, including semiconductor manufacturing, which we're all hearing about nowadays. So, thank you.
Thank you so much for explaining that to us. Professor Cheung, since the disciplines are in fact very similar, what kind of jobs do engineering technology students get after they graduate?
Well, our students can go to so many different areas, and a lot of them are engineers. And so, for example, when I graduated many years ago, I was a control engineer, and then I was a engineering project manager. I was a research and development manager. And we have our students can go into manufacturing engineers, testing engineer, quality engineers, and all the different spectrum of the engineer profession. And so there is, depending on really what is the passion of that graduates, in what area they want to go into. The way we prepare our students is we expose them to so many different areas of their study that they can go into multiple disciplines, as you can see in the industry.
Thank you. Professor Panigrahi, would you please tell us more about the opportunities that students have in engineering technology to do projects that not only involve design, but also getting hands-on experience building and using technology? As an example, you've developed technology for use in real-world applications, correct?
Yes. Yes. So in our program, we have variety of courses and variety of opportunities to engage students to deal with real world problems. So, for example, when we teach our classes, also in our classes we have projects. So in the same semester in the class project, we design the project problems, which is not only we assign the project from ourselves, we ask the students to think of projects that applies the materials, the subject matter they learned in the class. So we, for example, I teach a class on computer vision. So we ask students, how can you use computer camera and other related technology, how to take the picture, analyze the picture, understand the picture, and how can you use the technology for our day-to-day real world application or industrial applications. So people think about it. For example, one student came up with an idea that how to use the camera systems to look at whether the food, the cat in his house, they have to put food in the bowl. But if this person is out of home, he does not know when the cat food is running out. So you want to put a camera near the cat food place, so that when the food is finished, the camera will be taking picture and be automatically analyzing it and alert the owner by email that food is almost finishing up. So those are some of those things people come up with from their own. And similar to that, we also bring a lot of industrial projects through our capstone project or through our research projects, and we engage our students in our lab, because as a professors we also teach and also do research, and the students get engaged with the professor in the lab to solve some of these real world problems, which become a very good experience along with their coursework they are taking.
Alrighty, awesome. I think the captain thing is super cool. Professor Nanda, similar question for you. How do students get hands-on experience at Purdue in smart manufacturing, for example?
Yeah, so as Professor Panigrahi mentioned, in a lot of our courses, we have there is a theoretical component where we teach about the basics and then we talk about the core concepts, and then there is we talk about the applications, and they learn about applying those concepts and theory that they learned into different practical settings. And on the project side, it's one of the key things about the projects that I use and other faculty members use in their subjects, that it is little unstructured. So one of the skills that engineering professional need is to how to define the problem in an unstructured setting. So they kind of get that experience as well into the projects, and particularly they work in teams. So another learning that they get is working with people who might not be their friends, how to develop a good working relationship and equation with people. And you mentioned smart manufacturing. So yeah, we have great smart manufacturing facilities over here, and it's basically the smart component of smart manufacturing, AI and IoT, that's getting adopted by all the industries. And here also in our curriculum, we are incorporating it, and we talk about how the latest technologies like AI and IoT are being integrated in different areas. And in the project, the student get a chance to apply those and see the application in real world settings. So yeah, so there are great opportunities for them to apply what they learned in the courses.
All right, thank you so much. So let's talk with our students next. Joseph, would you please tell us about how your interest in high school first got you thinking about technology and engineering, and also why you chose to come to Purdue to study industrial engineering technology?
Yeah, so I never had a grand epiphany of becoming an engineer. However, there were a few things looking back that definitely, put me on this path. I've always had an affinity for physical things, Legos, programming, and I have always been interested in like applied math and, problems that make you draw pictures and stuff like that. In addition, both my parents were engineers, so it is very helpful, nice that they're able to guide me and help along the way. As for the second part of the question, at the time that I was deciding where to go, I heard that, Purdue Polytech is very hands-on and teaches practical skills related to my major. Now, 3 years in to my major, I can say that that's true. And in addition, the IET program offers great opportunities in learning skills that are required, like the Lean Six Sigma, Green Belt, and yeah, I think that's why I chose Purdue.
Alrighty, awesome. Marianna, similar question for you. What first got you interested in electrical and energy engineering technology, and what inspired you to pick Purdue?
Yeah, so I mean, in high school, I took some classes that were like circuit design, circuit analysis, stuff like that. So that really got me interested in electrical engineering, and I really liked the practicality and hands-on that I was doing in high school. So when I heard about the hands-on learning experience that you get at the School of Engineering Technology, specifically, I knew that I was sold right away. I've always wanted to come to a Purdue. Both of my parents are Purdue alumni, so got to keep it in the family, you know. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I've done like electrical work since I was a little kid, and I love the hands-on of doing it, and I wanted to continue that as I continue my career. Now, for the energy engineering, I kind of found out about it through my academic advisor. I didn't know that was an option when I started, as I started in electrical engineering. And when she let me know that there was an energy engineering major, that piqued my interest. I mean, energy is constantly changing. We're going to renewable energy sources, and I'm learning a lot about that in my classes, as well as like the types of transmission and the newer energy production that is going to be coming in the few years. So I know that's a pretty stable job outlook. So, and it's super interesting. Come up with the next big thing to have better energy sources.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, my own story has like some similarities. Kind of similar to like what Joseph said. I grew up loving just doing the hands-on stuff. I also didn't really necessarily have like an epiphany that I just kind of loved doing engineering and stuff within that field just since I was a kid. My dad, he used to like race motorcycles, so kind of being thrown into like that tech and like helping him like fix up some stuff like on his bike, like before race days and stuff like that. That's kind of what got me a little bit more interested in it. And when I found out that Purdue had majors that I was super interested in and had a hands-on aspect, I was like, this is what's really going to help me advance in my career and help me be able to find the job that is perfect for me. But yeah, so I'm super glad that we all got the chance to talk about why Purdue is right for us. Before we move on to plans of studies and similar topics, let's take some time to talk about the state-of-the-art building that is home to a variety of the state-of-the-art labs for the School of Engineering Technology. Dudley and Lambertus halls open to students as of January 2023. Professor Burbank, would you please tell us about the new labs that most engineering technology students will get to use the entire time that they are at Purdue? Professor Burbank, I think you're muted.
Got to unmute first. Yes. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go off script just for a second. I mean, you just heard our students and actually the faculty as well talk about applied, practice, labs, right? So that is the core of what we do in these degree programs. And if you're going to spend most of your time hanging out in a lab, you might as well have a nice lab, right? And so one of the great things that's happened for us, well, within the last couple of years is the opening of the Dudley and Lambertus halls. They're right next, I'm in the Kanoi building. That building is right next to us. It is about 250,000 square feet. Just the building alone was about $140 million. Our school probably has another $8 million in new equipment in that building. So when we say you're going to touch things, we actually mean you're going to touch things starting freshman year. So this is what primarily electrical majors tonight in IET, and even our IET students have to take a beginning electrical class. So you're going to start with oscilloscopes, making measurements. And the whole thing that's changing, we keep saying the word smart manufacturing, we're still making stuff, right? But the smartness comes in because all these instruments like oscilloscopes and digital multimeters are generating data. And that data is in such large quantities now. And as Dr. Nanda mentioned, with AI and machine learning, we can start to analyze that data and understand what we're looking at in a whole different way. And so 4 of the new labs that we have in this building, it's like we have a foundry. You know, we can cast metal. Okay, well, you can do that in your backyard with a blowtorch if you want. But probably that's not going to make transmissions fast enough. And so there's a smartness to it. What happens when you want to ensure that the quality of all the parts that you're making in that foundry are the same year after year? And that's where the sensors and the communication and the data analytics comes in into make this manufacturing process smart. And so that's what's going on in that new building. And we also have a learning factory, which is probably not many of you have worked in factories yet, but you will, because they're cool places. But that's where things happen, right? A raw material comes in, you do a process on it to generate a product. You're adding value. And the smart part of this is doing that in control, using the techniques and science that you're learning in our program. So the building is great fun. You'll have a good time there. So thank you.
Alrighty, thank you. Professor Nanda, the reason we have all these labs is to provide opportunities for applied learning and real-world experience across a variety of engineering and technology disciplines, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And as Professor Burbank was mentioning, I mean, these are world-class facilities and state of the art in like be it the smart learning factory or be it the IoT lab or be it the smart foundry. So in these facilities, the technology that is available, that is very like futuristic, and students who will get hands-on experience working in these labs would be ready to, I mean, they would be ready to work in the industry day one. And these are the things that, or technologies that industries are still adopting. So there are a lot of industries that have adopted the smart manufacturing technologies, but there are still companies that are still adopting and they are upgrading their facilities. So what students would learn in these factories, and they look very different from what like the typical picture of factory we have in mind. So these would look very futuristic, and these have like robotics and IoT and AI and cameras and everything in place over there. So the experience that students will get across different majors like in engineering technology. So as Dr. Burbank mentioned, that in first year, everyone would be going through the same course. And in their final year, in the capstone, they all, again, the team is formed with different majors, and they would all be working on like real world problems over there. So these labs, they are meant to provide them with practical hands-on experience with the most current and futuristic technologies, which would equip them to work like succeed in industry. So yeah, I mean, really, it's a great time to be like in engineering technology at Purdue. Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Okay, switching topics a little bit. Professor Cheung, there are often more men than women in STEM fields, both in college and in industry. Why do you think Purdue is the right place for women who want to be in engineering and in technology?
Well, we do have a lot of female faculty members in our faculty member in here, and also it is true. I mean, when I worked in the industry, I was always the the one or the few women in a team. But this Purdue education that give you is exposure to many different, not just male, female, also different culture. And when I worked in the industry, I worked with people from different countries, different time zone. And so this school environment at Purdue also expose you to the different groups of people and the communication that you learn from working, like what we talked about before in the multidisciplinary teams in our capstone project, and also throughout the different courses, give you the perfect combination of, working also in improving your communication skills and also learning how to work with different types of people.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Lindsay, in your role as an academic advisor, you visit with a lot of students and their parents. In your experience, why is engineering technology a good place for women to study?
Well, I personally think it is a good place for anyone to study, and that includes women. Our men do great and our women do great. And so I think the type of hands-on learning keeps them engaged. There's different projects that students take different roles on. They sometimes come up with the idea, they sometimes implement it, they sometimes do different things, but there's also individual work. So that is also good for different types of learners. In addition, in our building, we have a fabulous help room. The help room is on the 5th floor. It is open from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays it closes at 5. But throughout the day, students are in there working on classes. So they need a little extra time to get a lab done. They can go in there. They can use the equipment. They can talk with their classmates. They can, brainstorm. They can just sit and think and ponder a problem, code, all those things that, some of our classes take a lot of time and effort, but it's really nice to have a beautiful room there. And then in the late afternoon, for people who need help, the room actually acts as a giant office. TAs, teaching assistants, will come in, professors will come in. There's certain times that different classes, typically freshman and sophomore level classes, that there will be specific help on. But I watch students all day long going past my office, heading down to the help room. I see them going in there early in the morning. I see them chatting with their friends. I see them typing away. I see them panicked. And they're doing it in a really supportive environment. I think that environment is really great for women. I think that environment is really great for men. I think it's really great for students as they leave high school with their parents, helping them and moving on to being a little bit more self-sufficient, to being very self-sufficient. I also think that engineering technology is a great place for women, and so do women. We are graduating the largest number in the country in the last, for a long period of time. We've had the highest number of women graduates in engineering technology. And I think it's because our programs are good and it speaks to them. But I also think, to be quite frank, it speaks to men too. They're great programs.
Thank you so much. I completely agree. I've definitely spent my time in the help room, either, working on my labs, getting ahead on labs, or just kind of connecting with my TAs, being able to just get some help from them. It's a really amazing resource. I completely agree. Okay, Marianna, how welcoming and supportive has engineering technology been for you at Purdue?
Honestly, it's been amazing. I have been blessed with an amazing academic advisor. Lindsay, I know I do not have you, but my advisor, Susan Hawkins, she's great as well. But yeah, I mean, all the academic advisors in the School of Engineering Technology are great. They help you through, they connect you with people that can help you in certain situations. I mean, not only that, but the professors. I mean, there's been multiple times I've had to go see Professor Cheung for a class during office hours. And then another good thing is some of the professors will also help you in some of your other classes. So let's say you're having a difficult time in one class, but you feel more comfortable going to a certain professor. A lot of them have that knowledge of different classes, and like different types of work, and they're more than happy to help you. I mean, it's honestly been great. And again, back to the SOET help room, you have an amazing view over campus. So along with the amazing facilities in there. And there's also a student tutoring program that is free for students as well. So you can go to your academic advisor, let them know what specific class you're having issues in, and you can get set up. It's called the BEST program, and you get a free tutor to help you, whether it's planning out how you're going to study or helping you find different types of studying techniques, as well as help in a specific class over a specific topic. So they really do a great job supporting you and welcoming you and trying to help you as much as possible to get through your classes, to make new friends, and enjoy your time at Purdue.
All right, Marianna, thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear that Purdue has been an amazing experience for you. I completely agree. Everyone I met here at Purdue has been amazing. The faculty, along with my classmates, everyone's super helpful. I love it. So, okay, let's talk a bit about our actual plans of study. Lindsay, how are these 4 majors similar to each other, and how do they differ?
So what I would say is that, first of all the students end up taking a common first semester course, ENGT 182 Gateway to Engineering Technology. And like all or most of our classes, it will have a lab experience where students get to experience the different areas of engineering technology. So they do some manufacturing, they do some electrical, they do some mechanical, some industrial. And so students can think to themselves, is the major I picked a good fit for me, or maybe is another one? I have a certain number, not a huge number, but we'll switch within engineering technology majors. They'll come in and say, wow, I toured the smart manufacturing lab and I want to do that major. Or I had never done an electrical circuit before, and I am so excited about being able to do it. So you have a common course that everybody takes, but there's a lot of similarities throughout the first whole year. So students can switch if they find a major that would fit them better. I would say within the majors we're talking about tonight, electrical and computer engineering technology have a lot of similarities, and the computer engineering technology has much more of a digital focus, a more focus. It has 5 computer information technology classes built in. There's more digital and programming and a little bit less analog, although there is some analog electronics. But we'll have students come in and be like, I want to do computers. I've wanted to do computers. And then they take their first or their second analog class and they fall in love with analog. And they're like, oh, can I switch? And the answer is yes, you can switch. And as long as you switch pretty much by the end of your second year between those 2 majors, you have a really good chance of graduating on time. And the same is true. We have the industrial engineering technology and supply chain and sales engineering technology. Now, supply chain and sales and IT will have a core that's very similar for their first 2 years. They'll take some engineering technology courses, some manufacturing, some graphics, some electrical, and then some major specific. One has more sales and selling and supply chain, and the other has more optimization. And we get students who switch back and forth with them. But I even get students who switch from, say, electrical to industrial, and it's possible. The sooner you switch, the more likely you are to graduate on time. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. Alrighty, just a super quick reminder to our viewers, Diane Russell is standing by in the YouTube chat room, so if you have any specific questions at all about the majors in electrical engineering technology or industrial engineering technology, please feel free to drop those in the chat, even if you have any specific questions for our faculty and students. Feel free to drop those in there. Alrighty, so Professor Panigrahi, when do the courses start to get more specialized based on each student's specific major? I think you might be muted, Professor.
Okay. As all of my colleagues were mentioning, after first year, second year, when we start taking some generalized courses, from slowly we got to from sophomore and junior, you to start taking some specialized courses depending on your major. And some of these specialized courses gives you very in-depth knowledge about theory and also application of the theory for real-world problem solving. For example, our School of Engineering Technology is focusing on smart manufacturing as one of the core. Within the smart manufacturing, we have a variety of different top courses which addresses different aspects of smart manufacturing. In my course, when I teach applied computer vision, that is a specialized course. So the students will learn how do you apply computer camera technology along with other software and artificial intelligence based technology, because computer vision is a part of artificial intelligence. How do you help? Computer vision is like a simulation of human vision. When you and I see an object, we say this is a truck, this is a tree, this is a cat. So how can you train a computer camera with a computer system to recognize whether it's a cylinder, it's a circle, or it is a parts of a tire, or it is a windshield? So whether there is a crack on it or not. So all those things computer can learn, take a picture, analyze it, learn it, make sure the accuracy is also done properly, and at the same time can interact with human being, what we call human machine interaction. So these are some of these examples where in some specialized topics can be the students learn in their junior and senior year.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Joseph, this one's for you. There are computers available for students to use on campus. Do you use the computers on campus or your own, or do you use both? And how did you decide what kind of computer to bring to college?
Yeah, so let me just preface this by saying I have a Mac, and specifically for my IET classes, it's never been an issue. However, there have been 2 classes that I can think off the top of my head that required me to go to the on-campus labs because it required the Windows operating system. This is something that was okay for me though, because I can't focus in my room. I need to, when I'm studying or working on something, I need to go somewhere. And there is plenty of on-campus labs and areas where the software is. So my best advice would be to just go with what you're most comfortable with.
Alrighty, thank you so much for that. In engineering technology, students are required to do a senior capstone project. Professor Burbank, would you please tell us what a senior capstone project is and how students benefit from having an industry sponsor to solve a real-world problem?
Certainly, thanks. So a capstone or senior design or whatever other name we want to use for it is one of those, for us, it's a 2-semester sequence. It's one of those courses where you're expected to be able to use all your knowledge from your previous courses and maybe even from your internships or jobs to bring it together to solve a problem. One of the things that's really special about here is that most of our projects are industry-based. So we have a team of faculty members that work in capstones almost exclusively. They go out and work with companies to identify problems that a student team can do over the course of 2 semesters. The industry has to provide a mentor for the team. Typically, those mentors meet every week with the team. And there's also a faculty mentor. So the students get a lot of mentoring. And one of the keys is that the company providing the project doesn't know what the answer is. This is not like doing work for a company. This is actually, let's go figure this out. I mean, the faculty mentor doesn't know the answer either. Okay, and so it really is a time to do research, do exploration, do prototyping, and figure it out. I know Professor Nanda has worked with teams. I know Professor Panigrahi has worked with teams. It's very time consuming on everybody's part, but it's also probably, I want to say that for most seniors, by the time they get to the end of their capstone, it's probably been their most rewarding class because they faced a challenge that they didn't think they could solve, and yet they did it. And it is not surprising, by the way, for the companies to come in and start hiring teammates. There have been companies spun off from these projects. There's been patents filed from these projects. They are a great way for students just to dive deep and have fun.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, so I would like to talk a little bit about internships. Personally, over the last summer and over this last winter break as well, I've been doing this mechanical engineering internship down in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. It's called West Tech Automation Solutions. I was a mechanical engineering intern. I was able to get that offer for that internship from the Polytechnic Career Fair that happens every February. It's a super great opportunity to come and like talk to companies that are specifically recruiting like Polytechnic majors and School of Engineering Technology majors. It's a really great opportunity, and it's awesome because so many more companies, especially like pretty big companies as well, have been starting to learn a bit more about like the engineering technology majors, and they've been trying to like actively recruit them. So it's a really great opportunity. And yeah, so Mariana, I believe you've been on 2 internships. Would you like to talk to them? Would you like to talk about them a little bit?
Yeah, so my freshman year, or no, it'd be my sophomore summer, so end of freshman year going into sophomore year, I was actually a manufacturing intern for the company Shuttleworth. They're up in Huntington, Indiana. So I worked on the manufacturing floor with the electrical team. So, I mean, I was crawling around under conveyor belts and hooking up wires. Looking over schematics. There were a few times where we had to go over schematics, realize that certain things were placed in ways that wouldn't quite work, and then go back to the design team and kind of help them through understanding how everything works out on the floor. That was a great experience. I loved it. And then the past summer, I was at Duke Energy, so I worked very closely with a lot of the mechanical engineers on the plant. I was actually the only electrical engineer on the plant, even though I was an intern. So I had a lot of questions come at me when specific things were going awry. There we go. But yeah, I mean, it was a great learning experience. I learned how to use different softwares there. One good thing is a lot of electrical and mechanical engineering do go hand in hand. So with my energy engineering major, I have been able to take some of those mechanical engineering classes, which did prepare me for that last internship. And then this next summer, I'm going to Allison Transmission down in Indianapolis. So I'll be working on working in their lab, designing things for the people out on the floor. So we'll see how that goes.
Alrighty, awesome. Yeah, I definitely think that the coursework that I was able to get throughout my first year at Purdue definitely really help prepare me for like my internship experience, being able to say that I have that hands-on experience and really be able to apply it to industry. It's honestly really cool. So Joseph, I'd also like to ask you a similar question. Would you like to tell us about your internship and how did your years of Purdue courses prepare you for your experiences?
Yeah, so I just want to first say that Purdue, hold on. Sorry about that. I just wanted to preface by saying that Purdue has great opportunities for just getting to know companies, and companies like to come to Purdue through IR, Purdue Polytech, the career fair. People they want us, and so um, as for the internship that I've worked for Thermo Fisher for the past 2 summers, and both on the first day, the first day of both my internships, I worked with my boss and my managers to talk about what I've learned and how can I actually apply that. So it has been really great to see what I'm learning in my classes and how it's actually being applied to manufacturing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And for anyone who may not know what IR is, IR stands for Industrial Roundtable. It's one of the many career fairs on campus every year, and it is our biggest career fair. It happens in the fall semester. We have like around 400-ish companies coming down to talk to you guys, and it's a really amazing experience. Even if you're a freshman, it's a really, really, really good opportunity to go and network and practice your interview skills, your speaking skills, your recruiting skills. It's a really amazing opportunity. So Joseph, after you worked at your internship, did that make you potentially want to like work for that company after you graduate?
Yes. So I've interned for them for the past 2 summers, and I'm actually going back there to a different site this summer. So I am hoping to work for Thermo Fisher after. But yeah.
Alrighty, that's awesome. Same with me. I have the offer again to go back to my same company from last year. I am most likely going to be going back to them. And honestly, I am very heavily considering working there after I graduate. It's a really great company and I love the culture of it. And all the experiences that I got from there have been super valuable. Like one thing like in specific was I took like this fluid power class, and over the winter break I was working on like pneumatic schematics and stuff like that, and being able to be like, oh, I know where that symbol comes from, or fully understanding how like what I learned in class fully applied to different like automated systems and stuff like that. Um, it was a really cool experience. It's not something that many people know. So even some of like the senior mechanical engineers there, they don't know the fluid power stuff on a super hands-on level. But yeah, so this is kind of like what Professor Burbank's talking about. We have really great real world experiences in engineering technology, from the capstone projects with industry sponsors to internships, and it's all really amazing for your resumes. So yeah, I think that we do need to start wrapping up a bit. But before we go, I'd like to ask each of you this question. What advice can you share with the future students to be both happy and successful during their time at Purdue? Professor Burbank, I'm going to start with you.
Thanks. So for the School of Engineering Technology, we have an internal motto: students first in all we do. See the head shaking on that one? That really is our motto. We're here. We're here because we love our students, we love our disciplines, and we want you to succeed. So whenever you need help, just don't be afraid to come and ask us, because we're here for you. Thanks.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Same question, Professor Nanda. How can future students set themselves up for success?
Yeah, so I would like my suggestion would be to get themselves like acquainted with all the student success resources that are there within the School of Engineering Technology and at Purdue, and make use of them. And once you arrive on campus, there are a lot of activities that are there, and then get involved in student groups, get involved in different activities, and also feel free to come and talk to any of us anytime. Like as Professor Burbank mentioned, we are all here for you. So, and I say this in my class, if you have any questions, if something is going on, you want to talk, please do come and talk to us. So yeah, thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you so much. Professor Cheung, it's your turn. What should future students do to be happy and successful at Purdue?
Yeah, thank you. And so I totally agreed that when you have questions, don't be afraid to come and talk to any of us. And another thing I think is really important is most of the students, when you come to us in high school, you probably easier schoolwork, but then when the programs, there's a lot of work, and you will see some failures in some of your work or something like that. And so if there is issue, don't be afraid. It is okay to once a while not fail a class or not a class, fail an exam or not doing well in a homework. It's okay. The more important thing is how do you deal with that when you have that issue? You go and ask, you know all the resources, you know how to get the resources and utilize the resources that is given to you. It is a very good 4-year experience to make the most out of it.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Professor Panigrahi, what is your advice for future students?
All right. For the future students, I echo my colleague said, Dr. Burbanks mentioned, we are here for you guys. And when a new batch of students come, we get excitement. We learn from you guys. We work with you. We welcome to our family. And it says it takes a village to raise a child. And similar concept here. We have an ecosystem, we have a group of colleagues, a system within Purdue and the SOET that you come with a dream and we will work with you to make you ready to achieve your professional goal and career. One good thing is that we try to create an environment here. You learn. You don't have to learn everything. You don't have to know everything. You come here, you learn by making mistakes. So one thing is, when you make mistake, you learn. If you know everything, then why you come to college, right? And SOET gives you that platform. Come on here. We are here. It's kind of going to for swimming. You move your hand, left hand, right hand, yeah, and then you learn how to swim, right? Yes, sometimes you drink little water, but that's okay. You learn, you become a good swimmer after that. Above all, it was not bad. So we prepare our people to be successful, but all of us are here to make your experience a positive one, so that you go through 4 years, you look back and say, wow, it was great experience. And that's what we are here for. Okay. So another thing I want to add that Purdue become an R1 institution, so also SOET. In our School of Engineering Technology, many of our colleagues, have research projects. We have research labs. These big buildings you see, there are world-class lab facilities, and also there are labs. So these labs professor have, so undergraduate students, when you come, and I have in my lab, and Professor Nanda has, many people, our colleagues have. So the undergraduate students get an opportunity to work in professor's lab. It's like an internship. But you are working in professor's lab, applying the knowledge you are getting from your coursework. and applying and solving the problem through the research project. So that's kind of another experiential learning. And that is also a very positive, builds the confidence, builds that, okay, yes, I can do it. Okay, those kind of things. It's a very good combination. And we have really, I'm telling based on our experience. Well, people go back and tell us that, wow, this kind of experience also helpful in addition to the, internship things all of our students were mentioning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lindsay, what words of wisdom do you have?
Yeah, so I would say don't be afraid to put yourself out there. So this might start as you enter Purdue, meeting new people. It might be in your classes, trying new things, going to the help room, asking a professor for help. It might be going to Industrial Roundtable and talking to companies or company reps and realizing, oh my goodness, they want to talk to me just as much as I want to talk to them. It might be going to lunch and learns that we put on in the help room to talk to companies. It might be applying to different experiences. But the more that you put yourself out there, the more experiences and the more positive experiences you'll have. You'll make friends. You'll get to do great things technically. You'll be able to contribute to every group you're on. And every time you put yourself into a situation where maybe you're not as comfortable, you'll get just a little bit better at it. So that's my advice for you.
Thank you so much. I completely agree with everything that you have to say. Joseph, what would you like to share about finding success at Purdue? And I would love for you to talk a bit about some of the student organizations that you're involved in. So how do you create a balance between like studying and enjoying the college experience?
Yeah, so first let me go over what I have done to find success at Purdue. And it's kind of echoed with a lot of the things that you guys have already been saying, but definitely don't be afraid to try new things. Personally, I'm a guitar player. I never did jazz band in high school or middle school, and last year I wanted to audition, and I did that, and I have from there met so many friends, been part of so many opportunities, got to play concerts, and met so many people. And it's great. Uh, with that, I think it's really important to be involved outside of class. Feed both sides of your brain. It's no uh, surprise that Purdue is a very STEM heavy school, but I think it's really important to um, you know tap into your creative side and just be involved outside of your classroom. My other piece of advice would be to realize that failure is okay, and it's okay to not have the answers to everything all the time. I recognize and remember how I felt when I was deciding to, come to Purdue. And it's a very scary time. Everything that you have ever done in school is leading up to that moment. And just know that it's okay to not have all the answers all the time. So that would be my advice. And Syrah, what was the second part of your question?
Yeah, so I would like to talk about how you create a balance between studying and enjoying your college experience.
Yeah. So part of what comes with college is learning to get better at organization, and with that, um, you get better at planning out time in classroom and time to do things like jazz band or meet with friends and stuff like that. So I think it's about just finding a balance that works for you, and making sure that you're not too stressed or anything like that.
Alrighty, Joseph, thank you so much. I absolutely love what you said about saying that like failure is okay. That's something that I think all of us here have had to like go through. And it really does just help us grow. Personally, I would like to talk a little bit about what I think is important. Kind of bouncing off what Joseph said, staying organized, staying ahead. You definitely don't want to fall behind. on like your labs or your homework or anything like that. And if you do find yourself somewhat slipping or you're struggling on something, it's super easy to go and talk to like your professors, your academic advisors during their office hours, as they are there to like help you. Everyone I know has been super helpful in going to office hours and talking with the TAs and the professors. You really get to kind of create like this relationship with them, and it becomes easier to kind of, you know, talk to them a bit more like in person, like in class and stuff like that. Like once you become more comfortable with the professor, you a lot more comfortable just, you know, raising your hand and saying like, oh, I have a question on this thing. They're honest, and I know it's like it can definitely be a bit intimidating. You're in a classroom with like maybe 100 other people, but I promise you the professors are definitely not as scary as it may seem. Some student organizations that I've been involved in, I've been a part of the SOET ambassadors for the School of Engineering Technology. That's definitely helped me, you know, build my communication skills and some other stuff. So I was a part of Astrobotics. That's with the Autonomous Robotics Club and the Purdue Space Program. It's a collaboration between them. That was a really great experience. I was able to go to RISE, it's like this big robotics convention that we host on our campus during the spring semester. We have a lot of really cool companies come down, all the robotics clubs come down, and everyone gets to basically discuss what they've been doing. But yeah, so I would just say, you know, definitely make friends with the people in your major, because even if you're gonna spend a bunch of time studying, if you're studying with your friends, then, you know, it doesn't suck as much for sure. But yeah, so Mariana, I'm gonna let you have the last word. What is your advice for the students?
One big thing that kind of goes along with what everyone else kind of said, is ask for help. I remember in high school, I did pretty well in high school. You know, I didn't really ask questions. I could figure things out on my own. And then I got to college and realized that that's not going to fly all the time. So do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to ask questions. All of the professors are so welcoming and are more than happy to help you with anything that you need. And once you build those connections with your professors, or even your advisors as well, there's so many more opportunities that can come from it. I mean, I've talked to my professors about like possible internships that they have had previous students reach out to them about, that they're looking for somebody, a specific person to fill a specific role, and they'll come and be like, hey, so this previous student is looking to fill this role for an internship. Are you interested? So there's so many opportunities that can come from it that would help you in the future. And yeah, just being a part of things other than academics to kind of keep your mind racing. I mean, I'm also a School of Engineering Technology ambassador. And then I'm on the club softball team. You can participate in various intramural leagues if you're into sports. There's so many academic clubs that you can join. And then there's other clubs like one that I'm a part of as well is the Special Olympics Collegiate Club. So we play unified basketball with the special needs individuals out in Tippecanoe County. So doing stuff like that and balancing it with your academic life is super important. So I highly recommend getting involved with clubs, meeting new people, and not taking everything so hard academically.
Alrighty, thank you, Mariana, and thank you, everyone. That concludes our discussion tonight. Thank you again to all of you watching, and we hope you learned something new about the School of Engineering Technology at Purdue. We hope you'll join us for one or more upcoming events for admitted students, including the Purdue's for Me, which is an opportunity to visit campus with your family. There are also many online information sessions, student-to-student chats, and parent and family chats. You can find information for all of those opportunities on our admitted students information page. So thank you again to all of our panelists for joining us and for sharing your wisdom and your experience. And if you joined us late, make sure to watch the replay because we talked about a variety of topics during the last hour. Thank you so much as well to John, our technical director, for all of the behind the scenes work, and to Diane Reisel, who helped answer questions in the chat room. As I mentioned before, please feel free to send emails to techrecruit@purdue.edu if you have any additional questions for us about engineering technology or about Purdue in general. And just a quick reminder, the deadline to accept your offer of admission is May 1st, 2025. Thank you again so much for being here tonight. Have a great evening and boiler up.